Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast. Presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Josh with MitsuTimes. Today, my guest is the owner of Performance Destination, Desmond Pierre. How are you doing today, Desmond?
Hey, how you doing today, man? I'm doing pretty good.
I'm great. I'm so glad we get a chance to sit down and do this. Ever since we talked about doing this thing, I've just been getting more and more excited because, some of the shops that I get to work with the sponsorship, I very rarely, if ever, get to see them in person or get to be in their area. And I got to kind of see you at work at the Mitsubishi Owners Meet this year. Well, by the time this airs, it'll be last year. Kind of get to see your customers and your following, and I was very impressed. So I'm glad that we get to sit down and do this thing.
Yeah, same here with me, man. Just that day I was busy, but I'm glad I'm able to sit down and chop it up with you, and I'm glad that you were able to have me on the show. I actually love the show. I actually watch and listen to a lot of your podcasts on here, so to have me on here, I'm pretty excited and pretty blessed to be here.
Heck yeah. So, Desmond, let's go back in time a little bit. Let's talk about what inspired you, you and your passion for performance and racing, because, you don't just talk about it, you're about it. You have a full-blown race car. You've been doing it for a long time. What is it what was the spark that got you started?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Because it wasn't like it was like from early days until my adult days. I've been around cars. So in my early days, I used to be into the BMX life. That was my whole life is BMX. As soon as I got my driver's license, then I was able to drive and kind of hung around some people from back in the day, early 2000s, or mid early 2000s. I saw some people, when they were building their cars, just watching them. Even before I actually had my driver's license, I was just watching people who were modifying Hondas, modifying SRT4s. They were just modifying these little sport compact cars, and I honestly thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I didn't know nothing about cars, but I knew like whatever they're doing, it sounded cool for one.
Yeah.
And banging through the gears, it kind of got me excited from a distance. And as soon as I got that driver's license, man, I was able to start hanging with more people into that scene, and it really started just taking off after that. My interests I just kicked the doors down with like full-blown interest into that lifestyle.
Full commit.
I never looked back ever since.
Heck yeah. So along this road, you talked about some Hondas and some SRT4s. When and how did you work your way into the Mitsubishis, and what got you into the community?
I came originally from the Honda stuff, and usually because that was easy to afford. Jump in, and don't take much to get a Honda and get going. And then I started tuning a few of my buddies who had Mitsubishis. And, or like back in the days, a long time ago. And then I was like, man, these things are pretty fast. And I'm like, you got back seats, you got AC as well? Because from the Honda side, we didn't have any back seats. We did, but it's just always, you got them.
Right.
And if you had a big turbo or anything turbo, you didn't ever had no AC either. So you really never had no room or no AC or none of the luxury, side of things. But as I started tuning a few of them, I was like, yeah, this is pretty neat. You got a lot of room for family and go to events, and you got AC on and off, and as soon as you step on the gas, go wide open throttle, this thing is moving, and it's all-wheel drive on top of that. So I think that's what really struck my interest was that performance and comfortable side of that side of racing.
For sure. So along that road somewhere, you said you were tuning some of your friends, and then did it just kind of start from there? You got so many tunes that you thought, man, I really need to open my own shop?
Well, it's a funny story about that. I was tuning some of my friends, and I didn't open my own shop yet. I didn't move to Orlando yet. That's where I am in Orlando, Florida, and I was doing it behind the scenes for other performance shops. So like in Fort Myers and Sarasota, and some other shops in those areas, I was doing it, but they will hire me to come there, work on their like tune their cars, get it running, clean it up, whatever little issues they have. It doesn't matter how big or how small. And then I was tuning them, and then one day, you know what? I decided let me just post this car I was working on. It was actually a Supra AEM ECU, basic upgrades. I think it was like a precision turbo, nothing crazy. I posted that car up, but it's just to post it up, just something on my page, just to say, oh, this kind of car, this kind of setup. And somebody tagged the owner, and it was like, that's my car. And that's when it struck me. It was like, the people who I'm tuning behind the scenes, they don't even know that I was the one that's doing this.
Yeah.
I started realizing like, I could do this, but I'm doing this for other people behind the scenes, but then I don't get the recognition behind the scenes. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start trying to do this and do my own thing where I could actually be in the limelight versus being in the dark. And then ever since then, I started putting my name out there, my business name out there, and honestly, it just took off from there.
So you have your business now, Performance Destination. Exactly when did you move into your brick and mortar building that you have now?
Well, I'm somewhat recently new to the Orlando area. So I knew I've always wanted to have my business in Orlando, and I actually don't even know why. There was just something about Orlando that always attracted me. I could have went to Tampa, I could have went to other areas, Miami, but something about Orlando, the car scene over there just really attracted me. So I was like, you know what, whatever I got to do to get out there, and I finally got a way to get out there, and I opened up my first shop, like my very first shop during COVID time. So I only been in Orlando probably 3 years, 3 to 4 years or so. And I opened up my shop right like a month before COVID hit. When I opened up my shop, then they put out that, what's it called, that mandate where we had a curfew for Florida and Orlando. Mm-hmm. So they give us curfew. So right when I signed the bottom line for my shop, then they put out that curfew, and they were shutting down the whole state and the whole city. Man. So that was pretty nerve-wracking right there. But it was right around that time is when I got my shop. Even before I got my shop, I had my dyno in my garage. I was stacking up all the stuff I wanted for when I want to open up my own location. Because before I was kind of doing it freelance.
Yeah.
I was going to other people's shops. I was using their dyno. I was doing it on the street. And that was cool and all, but right when I got to Orlando, which is a way busier city than where I came from, I'm come from a small town, Port Charlotte, Florida. And right when I got to Orlando, it's night and day difference. You can't street tune out here so easily. You can, but it's nothing but it's all stop and go traffic.
Yeah.
So it just got to the point where it's too dangerous doing all the street tunes, and I didn't want to do that. You're driving around for like an hour, not barely tuning, but partially tuning, but just looking for a good little stretch to make wide open pulls.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Because of traffic. So I was like, you know what? Open up my shop. I did it around COVID time. And to be honest with you, I was kind of really nervous around that time, but I was more busier during COVID than ever. When I opened up that shop location, before my phone rang off before, but like now, but that time it just took over. Like, people were calling me every day, texting me every day.
Wow.
I couldn't even go to sleep at night. People was constantly messaging me, calling, texting, can I get a tune, can I get a tune, can I get a tune? And it just, where I thought I was going to be slow, it was complete opposite. I couldn't even keep up. So, but that was around the time for that, and been good ever since.
Heck yeah. I thinking back to what you're saying about the, wanting to move to the Orlando car scene, the handful or so times that I've been down there, I always am just blown away about the cars that are there. Not just your high end imports that you're used to seeing in Orlando, but also the the RSXs and the Evos and just so many different cars on there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's very very open, very versatile over here.
For sure, and the car culture is unrivaled in a lot of parts of the country where people are building their cars to go fast.
Correct. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So Desmond, let's talk about what services Performance Destination offers.
With me, I am a tuner. I just do tuning. I'm on the dyno, no lie to you, Monday through Friday. I try to keep it Monday through Friday, but then, my schedule gets so backed up sometimes. Then I'll open up my shop on Saturdays and Sundays. Sometimes I have people who work in the medical field or construction workers where they can't come in Monday through Fridays. So I bend the schedule a little bit and work with them on weekends, but mainly just tuning. I'm extremely big on remote tuning. Everybody knows me for dyno tuning, and even more people know me for remote tuning. Just tuning wise, I got people who I'm affiliated with when it comes to repairs and needs to get things done. And don't get me wrong, if I need to get my hands dirty, I'll get my hands dirty, and if I got to redo a whole fuel system, redo a whole setup, I could if I want to.
Yeah.
But usually, from that time, from morning to Monday till night, Friday, I'm tuning. And if I'm not on the dyno tuning, I have people waiting for remote tunes. So by the time I get off the dyno, I end my day from the rollers, jump on the computer, and I finish off with either one or two remote tunes. Usually in different countries, different states. I think officially by now, I think I've tuned everywhere and around the world now. But just tuning wise, that's my thing. It's just tuning.
Okay. So Desmond, I see a lot on the Facebook groups and stuff, people talking about that they're kind of weary of remote tuning, and maybe it's because as we all get older and move on to different platforms, and our platforms that we're used to move into new hands. Let's talk about how remote tune works so that people can have a better understanding of what's going to happen and how it's going to happen.
Well, I'll be honest with you. In my earlier days, remote tuning wasn't as popular at the time. Everybody was trying to do it more local, but sometimes some people like the way one tuner treats their customers, gives them support and knowledge, than another tuner or another shop that is local to them. Sometimes another shop could tune your car, but they don't go over in detail of what they found, why the car was running like this. Give them that step-to-step breakdown. A lot of people who work with me, they know I'm very attention to detail, and if there's something going on with that car, I'm going to call it out on it, and they know to be ready working with me. Remote tuning, there is nothing bad about it. I think a lot of people kind of a little on the fence about it, even tuners or certain people, because they're more old school. Everybody, when some people are stuck in their ways, they're stuck in the ways. You really can't convince them
right.
Another direction because they only know one direction. So they don't. A lot of people have a hard time itself. Like a lot of tuners or some shops will have a hard time itself tuning a car on the dyno. So they think mentally it's going to be even harder time remotely. So with me, it's not really the case. I know a lot of computers I work with, the DSM Evo platform, I know it like the back of my hand. I do a lot of remote tune successfully. A lot of customers. I tune behind the scenes for a lot of other shops remotely. I do that remotely, tune for other shops behind the scenes, and I'm always there for them. It's very simple. I have a program I use. When someone wants me to get remote tune with me, they would, message me, Instagram, call me, text me, however so, and they'll tell me their setup. They'll tell me the car they have. They tell me what their goals. I'll talk to them about their goals. I kind of want to know because based off their goals is how I'm going to tune the car.
Yeah.
Based off the conversation when I have with that person is how I'm going to tune that car. And if I talk with somebody and they say, yeah, I want to just max everything out. I want to make the highest the highest horsepower on stock block, and if it blows, don't worry about it. I'm gonna have a spare motor on the side. In the back of my mind, I already know I'm gonna tune that guy a little different. I'm not gonna put him on all the boost. I'm not gonna put him right at the edge where it's gonna be on kill. Because at the end of the day, I don't want nobody, hurting motors. I don't want nobody being, down and out. They got to spend extra money that they don't need to. But they'll go over me with their setup, and if something's not right, I would strongly tell them, this is what you need to change. And I don't just say this is what you need to change. I tell them this is why you need to change it. If you don't have this, the right part for this, this is going to affect that. If you don't got the right fuel pressure regulator, your fuel pressure is not gonna build properly. It's gonna drop. You're gonna go into boost. It's gonna break up. You're gonna have issues across the road, down the road, and whatnot. So I kind of go over with them, just like if they were in person. I give people that one-on-one experience with me. It's not just on no flyby energy. It's one-on-one. You tell me what you want. You tell me what kind of issues, because that's one thing. I ask them, what kind of issues have you been battling with?
Yeah.
They'll tell me it. They'll tell me, but they'll tell me, okay, I'm like, how long have you been battling with these issues? Just so I know. It helps me navigate the focus on what the customer issues is first, and then how to overcome it. And then, it just, I build a map. I don't use anybody's maps. My maps are my maps. I don't tell customers, oh yeah, email me your map, and I'm gonna make some edits to your current map and send it back. No, just tell me your setup. I make my own map and I'll send it over to you. That's how you keep a good rotation of quality tunes and running cars out there. And then within that email I send them, I have all my links I use for remote tuning. This way, they're not confused. What stuff I got to download? How is he going to do this? Like it's all there. And I give them and whenever I schedule a date with them, it's either I give them step-by-step instructions, or it's either I'm remotely accessing their computer and I'm doing it all for them.
Yeah.
And the only thing they have to do is just drive. So it's literally like if I was in the passenger seat with them, but I'm not there. So that's the only part about that. So it's fairly simple. It's really not that hard. I do it a lot for a lot of people. Successfully. That's the thing. People could do a lot of things, but can you do it repetitively successfully? That's the difference.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm very, very known for remote tuning. Because a lot of states I work with, I've had guys where they're talking about, oh yeah, let me bring you to Pakistan, or let me bring you out to Madagascar, and I was like, I got a family here. It's kind of hard to kind of get up and leave. And I tell them my shop is extremely busy, so it's hard for me to step away. So that's when we started just pushing the remote tunes, and it actually ends up being the same quality service,
Yeah.
And they're very happy, very pleased, and that's what it's all about. It's all about pleasing the end user, making sure they're getting their money's worth. And it's not about money, about anything like that. Just making sure customers are happy with what they're getting with their car and they're able to enjoy it.
Yeah, it sounds like the best plan you can have.
Yeah.
So the more time goes on, the more we see less and less tuners willing to work with like DSMs and Evos, and the reason is, they've exchanged hands so many times, and they gain problems each owner, so they go to the tuner not ready to be tuned. So I thought it was important, Desmond, to talk about what do I need to ensure that I have before I come to you for a tune.
Well, it's not what you need to ensure. Not only that, it goes back to what I said previously. I would talk to that customer, and I would ask them, okay, you want to get your car tuned. What's your setup? What's the build like? What kind of issues were you having? Oh, they'll be like, okay, my idle's kind of funny. When I start the car up when it's cold, the idle's kind of low, or when I'm cruising on a diesel, it kind of dies. I kind of like try to figure out what the issues they're currently already having. That's always the key part. If someone's bringing you a car to tune, they're bringing your car to tune because there was an issue aroused from somewhere previously or currently, and they're trying to overcome it. They're trying to get back to having a perfectly running car.
Yeah.
So I have to talk to them and key in on those issues, because when I tell them, in the email I send them, even if it's remote tune or when someone books a tune with me, and they have to pay a deposit to get on the dyno, I send them an email and I give them the certain things that needs to be checked off. But it's different on every car, because one car he could be coming in and the car's not hitting boost, and one car could be coming in and it's breaking up, and one car could be coming in and it's overheating, and one car could be coming in because he's mentally stressed out because the idle is going crazy. So depending on your issues, or depending on the reason you're coming in, is the certain tactics I'm going to have you look over that affects those areas. And I'm going to kind of, it's not like a cookie cutter, check this, because a cookie cutter sheet, what doesn't work for everybody. So it has to, it's more a one-on-one feel with me,
Yeah.
I will listen to you, whatever you got going on, based off whatever you have. I'll give you a checklist for certain things that are causing your boost leak. I'll give you a checklist for certain things that's causing your overheating problem on a forward-facing setup, because that's also another thing, you just never know what the issue is, so they don't know what the issue is, so I have to give them that full checklist, step by step, all these things you can check, and usually by the checklist, they'll be like, oh, you know what, I actually found this, this and that, and then when they fix that, and when we tuning, it's like, man, this car's running like it never did before, and that's the things I like to hear, that's the things I try to shine in on, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So to answer your question, there is no generic checklist. It's just based off of what that car needs to run like, and what kind of issues that car was having, and I'll give solutions in my checklist for that particular customer, so we can overcome the issues you've been battling.
Heck yeah, I love that. So, Desmond, let's talk about, it's always important to talk to your tuner to figure out what kind of tuning software they prefer. That way you kind of know where you need to go. And then also, let's talk about what tuning software you prefer and which you can tune on.
Now, that's a tough one, because, to be honest with you, I kind of dabble with everything. And I think that's why I'm so busy. A lot of people, they shine on Hull Tech. A lot of people shine on AEM, Fuel Tech, Stock ECU, Link. I do them all. I do the Hull Tech, I do the Fuel Tech, I do the AEM, I do Stock ECU, Link G4, DSM Link. I do them all remotely, successfully, and I do them all in person dyno successfully. So it depends on, the computer choice depends on what the customer wants. If the customer doesn't want all the cool gadgets like rolling anti-lag, they're not trying to do a flex fuel tune, then it's depending on the computer choice. Now 2022 kids these days, they want it all.
Yeah.
They want the rolling. They want the when I shift, that cut is gonna throw flame. They want that launch control with the anti-lag that's building boost and throwing flames all the way up to the sky. Or they want that flex fuel tune. They want certain things. So depending on what they want is depending on what I'll try to navigate them for. But usually, to be honest with you, I do them all. I'm very, very, very like favoritism to like AEM. My earlier days, I started on AEM. AEM is like one of the main computers I actually started off with when tuning back in the day. V1 from V1, V2, and then as the newer stuff came out, and it's literally like I can punch keys and know what to do with my eyes closed with that computer. You know, and same thing, Haltech. I speak with the guys that work there. Great computer. They give me support. I tune with their stuff as well. Link G4. I talk to them all the time and about their stuff. Their stuff works phenomenal. I think it's kind of underrated. I'll be honest with you. I was very, very extremely underrated for how well that computer is. That computer is really good. Talk to them all the time. You know, they send me shop banners and hoodies and pencils and pens, and in the stock ECU stuff, that's like a flagship for me. I'm really good at that.
That's the bread and butter.
That's the bread and butter. I'm really, really good with the stock ECU stuff. So like, I stay versatile, you know, because sometimes when someone calls me tomorrow, I don't know what computer they have.
Yeah.
If 10 people call me wanting me to do fuel tech, and one person said, "Can you do AEM?" You know, am I going to turn all those people away and then only do that one car?
Right.
And as a businessman, I don't think it's wise, you know. But I do think it's important to, you know, you stay to what's your niche, what you specialize in. But I try to stay up to par with all the computers so I can like give good support to all of them.
Yeah. So, Desmond, I see a lot of people in the Facebook groups, too, talking about, well, I don't need a tune because my car is pretty much stock. I just have an intake or I just have an exhaust. What do you have to say to those people?
Now, I'm not going to say everybody needs a tune, you know, because to be honest with you, if your car is running good, your car is running good, you know. So I can't say, oh, yeah, your car is running great, you know, but who cares? Let me tune it for you. No, it's not like that, but I would say on the performance end, there is always hidden power to be unlocked, even in stock form.
Yeah.
A stock Evo 8 or 9, you know, only makes so much. And then I'm talking about stock, like virgin computer, not touch or anything like that. And then if you open it up, get into the tune, calibrating the fuel tables, calibrating the ignition tables, because you know from stock, these cars is not to say I'm tuning this Evo for Florida. I'm tuning this from the dealership wise, like from the manufacturer.
Right.
Like this car is not saying, okay, these are all generic tunes where it's good enough to run in all these states. You know, when they send them out, you know, it's good enough to run in all these climates. But wherever you are, it's going to run different. It's like I have guys who ship a car, and it can be bone stock. I had a guy come with bone stock, everything, intercooler, turbo, even the fact that the blue solenoid. He relocated from California to Florida, and the car didn't even run right anymore. The air is different over here. The fuel is different over here. So even if you're in stock form, that doesn't mean anything. You know, there's always power to be made. And a lot of my customers, they come to me as well they're trying to tune the car for better gas mileage.
Yeah.
You can also tune a car for better gas mileage. You know, there's ways on that. You know, it all depends on what you want to do, what you're looking for. You know, so it's mainly the end user. You know, does your car run good right now? You don't need a tune. That's cool. But if there's more power to be made, then your stock tune and on your stock setup, of course, there's always power to be made somewhere.
Okay. So what if I'm one of those people who are just starting out, and I'm kind of just trying to decide if I should go ahead and make the big purchase and jump to a standalone, or if I should stay on my stock ECU? What advice would you give me?
That would have to be like a one-on-one question. Like, what's your goals? You know, are you a cars and coffee kind of guy? Are you a weekend warrior kind of guy? Are you a daily driver kind of guy? You know, it depends. Stock ECU and standalones, you can take two different paths and still meet at the same point.
Yeah.
You can say your goal is a 9-second car. A 9-second car could get done on stock ECU.
For sure.
A 9-second car could get done on standalone. So it depends on your goals or what you're looking to accomplish, what you want out of it is depending if you already reached the limits of the stock ECU. Just a few days ago, I had a guy come down from South Carolina or no, Tennessee. He came down from Tennessee with his Evo 9. He was like, "Yo, I want stock ECU. I don't want to stand alone. Just want to get this car running good. You know, it's not my daily. Just want something fun to play with, and cool." I'm like, "Well, how much power are you looking to make?" He's like, "Man, if I just hit 800, I'm happy with that." All right, cool. So we just kept on working at it all day. Tuned him on both fuels, pump gas. He made like 5 something, and E85. We turned it up, and he made it right at 805. And that car, we went on the street, and that car literally would break in the street. It's so fast. Dang. And but the thing is, it depends. He didn't want or didn't need anything yet to go to that standalone level. So if you're talking about, yeah, I want to be a track car or a weekend track car, or I want to run a certain quarter mile time at the track, then I'm gonna push you towards standalone, just so for data logging. So I can see back to back. It has better data logging than stock ECU. So I can see back to back what's holding you back, what it's going to take to keep keep pushing this setup faster and faster, and stuff like that. So stock ECU can get it done. Standalone can get it done. It's more on personal goals. I've seen other tuners and other shops get up to 1,000 horsepower on stock ECU. It's so doable.
Yeah,
it's so doable. So it all depends on what you want to do and what your goals. If you want to run 1 fuel, 2 fuels, depending, and but if it's for the average person and you want to make 500 or you want to make 800, and it's just a fun car to play around with whenever you want to step out, you could do it on stock ECU, and it will run like a champ without even thinking twice.
So Desmond, let's say that I have a Evo with some basic bolt-ons, but I want to jump to a standalone so that I have the fail-safes. Which standalone would you suggest or recommend that would be the most user-friendly for a beginner?
That's a good question. That beginner part's a good question. If it's for a beginner, this is what I would say. I would get something that's plug and play. As soon as you go to that standalone that requires that full race harness, I feel like then you're stepping into another league.
Yeah.
You're spending big boy money. A good race harness is not going to be no budget setup. If you're just stepping in, you want the fail safes, I would definitely go with something that's plug and play. Howtech is plug and play. AEM plug and play. They're starting to make. So there's a lot of companies out there now. They're starting to make jumper harnesses for fuel tech, and a lot of people don't know that yet. I just found out earlier this year that they're starting to make jumper harnesses for fuel tech. If you have an Evo and you do not want to run an aftermarket harness, there is a jumper harness you can make that plugs in to your factory ECU connection, and then of where your ECU will plug into, you'll plug those into there, and the other end will plug right into your fuel tech. And you'll have to get it mounted wherever you want to get it mounted, this and that and a third. But they are making jumper harnesses for fuel tech. They're all good. Everybody has been going fast on all of them. Everybody has been running strong on all of them. And they all do what they all command. What you want to command. So any one of those is a good choice. The beginner part comes down to the engine harness. Because when you do an engine harness, you want to do it one time. You don't want to do it like, okay, just make it like a factory replacement engine harness. You want to do it with all the sensors, all the stuff, and the more sensors and the more connectors you add on there, the more inputs, is the more expensive that's going to be, and then it turns you into a different price category of just a beginner hopping in. Now it's turning you into it's a little deeper out of your pocket. So I would think more towards something that's plug and play. something that's plug and play where you can get an aftermarket standalone ECU, disconnect your factory one, you plug in the standalone, and you can still have your fail-safe set up on there through the standalone.
Okay. So Desmond, let's flip it. Let's say that you're not a beginner. Let's talk about your personal car. What standalone are you choosing for your own personal project?
I know you want me to put a name out there, a company's name out there. So me personally, I really like Fuel Tech. Fuel Tech, it does great stuff. It really does. Haltech does great stuff. AEM does great stuff. On my personal car, I have Fuel Tech. I remote tune a lot of guys overseas on Fuel Tech. I like it. You know, and the reason why I like it, you know, just like how everybody sees the ECU and the screen, everything is built in one.
Yeah.
But that data log screen setup on Fuel Tech is, I don't think anybody could compare to it. That data log portion of Fuel Tech, I don't think anybody compares to that. If you're on Fuel Tech and your car just went 9.0, and then all of a sudden you make another Hail Mary pass and that thing just went 8.6, you're able to put that Fuel Tech 9.0 pass up against that Fuel Tech 8.6 pass and see back to back what changed and how it went faster, why it went faster, and this way you can learn from that. You know, a lot of the older stuff, you know, you looking at the one data log graph at a time. But that data log part of Fuel Tech I think is what kind of separates them from other people. And that screen, you know, with Haltech, you got to buy an aftermarket screen. AEM, you got to buy aftermarket screen, and it's not aftermarket from like their own company. I'm talking about within their own company.
Yeah.
But you got to buy all that. So it's just that Fuel Tech price. It's all built in. So you're getting that ECU, you're getting that screen, and you're getting a extremely competitive computer with everything all built in one.
For sure, yeah.
Not to mention, if you're choosing anybody computer-wise, let me tell you right now, you want to choose any computer that's going to give you customer support. That goes for any company. Customer support is everything, and you know, they're all good, but Fuel Tech is, you know, they're right there. They pick up the phone, they answer, they're good, you know, and that's not saying Haltech don't do that, AEM does that, or doesn't do that, because I've called them all, they've all been helpful, so choosing the right one. But I like that data log feature on Fuel Tech, so that's what kind of pushed me that direction on with my car, and you know, with what I would say would be my choice.
Okay. So Desmond, I know there's probably people listening to this right now and they have a 3G or 4G or who knows, and they're thinking, man, I wish I could find somebody like him that could tune my car. Let's talk about the scope of the Mitsubishi vehicles that you can provide tuning support for, because like you said, you tune on all ECUs, but what if I have a 3G or 4G that has, you know, like a weird ECU that might be hard to tune on?
Well, I'll be honest with you. If you have a weird ECU that I don't like, or a weird ECU that I know is not good quality, I'm not going to tune it.
Yeah.
And if you come to me wanting me to tune, that means you trust me, and you would take my advice if I say, okay, get this set up, get this injectors, get this fuel pump. We're going to swap that fuel pump out, or we're going to swap this ECU out. So if you come to me, that means you trust me on my opinion on certain things. And if someone says, no, just go ahead and just run it, you know, just see what it does as is, then I'm like, well, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not the tuner for you then.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm just going to run it kind of guy. You know, if, you know, my name has really good respect in it, and my business has really good respect in it, and I just want to make sure everybody's happy. I don't want to give nobody let's just run it type of energy or tune type of thing, you know. So it's just like, if I specialize in all these computer systems, then let's run with one of these computer systems. This way you can meet the end goal of of being satisfied.
For sure, yeah.
You know, so let's not let's not just chance it. You know, these cars are getting older, parts are getting more expensive, and I just want to have everybody running their cars strong and healthy. And you know, I tell people all the time, and this is the thing I tell my customers, remotely and in person. I do not shine until you shine. I can't. Anybody who ever worked with me, they've heard that before. I do not shine until you shine. When you shine, that's when I shine.
Heck yeah.
So if I'm shining and everybody's working with me and everybody's wanting to tune with me and I'm doing remote tunes more than I can keep up, because those who I'm working with is shining. And when you don't shine, you'll see it within those shops or those people or whatever individuals, you know, some people who cut corners, you'll see it within those people. But if you don't have a good computer choice, I would just say, you know what, maybe you might find somebody else who's willing to do it. I'm not willing to do it. So it's either you will go with what I recommend or, you know, or this is not a good fit for us.
Yeah. You don't want to start off from a bad place.
Correct.
So, Desmond, let's talk about the future of Performance Destination. You know, what kind of things are you looking forward to as far as you and the shop?
To be honest with you, I'm actually looking forward to big things. You know, every single year I set out bigger goals. You know, and every single year I hit them, and you know I try to set out even higher goals the next year. So this coming year, for 2023, I'm mainly trying to, you know, I'm trying to get my own location, buying my own location, having my own location, where I can set up the shop how I want it.
Yeah.
You know, that's been a goal of mine. You know, usually when I'm a one man kind of show at times, and I want to bring on some other people. You know, some wiring. I want to bring on a wiring guy. I want to bring on a fab guy, and I want to bring on, you know, a technician or two, and we could just rock it out. You know, for how many cars I tune, you know, I outsource work at times. You know, I'm the kind of guy where I'm not stingy. We can all eat. We can all eat, and it's not a problem. And I earlier this year, I purchased some hub dynos. So I've had customers come through with some high powered cars, front wheel drive. Can I run them on my regular chassis dyno? Yeah, I could, but you know, I've had some cars where I ran into some traction issues, and they were like, "Oh, I don't have any drag radials," and I don't like dynoing cars on slicks because that thing is just throwing what's it called, tires everywhere, chewing it up and throwing it all over the place. So I purchased some hub dynos. So I have hub dyno and all-wheel drive dyno, and I want to set up my own location for both equipments, and you know, and have that type of motorsport environment. So regardless of what you have, you know, we have, you know, the tools, the knowledge, and equipment to meet the needs.
Yeah. Cool. I would definitely love to see that. I mean, it makes sense to, if you're going to come to a shop for some tuning, you might also need a little bit of fab or a little bit of work done too.
Right, correct.
So, Desmond, we're kind of in a weird renaissance of the Mitsubishi community because we see the all-wheel drive record get broke, DSM record get broke this year, the Evo record get broke, the Evo 10 record get broke this year. But yet, we don't see as many cars out grassroots racing as we used to. I wanted to kind of get your perspective on the kind of market for the Mitsubishi community right now.
Yeah, sadly that is true. It's a very weird space there. I don't know why. And it's within the Mitsubishis, and I don't know why, because everybody loved Mitsubishis. Everybody loved Evos. You got even the Honda guys. They drool over the Evos in Mitsubishis, you know. And I think what happened is Evos. I'm gonna talk more on the Evos right now. Evos have turned into such a hot market for sales. So if you have an Evo and then you're just sitting there, and all of a sudden you're, you know, you need to come up with some money, or you want to buy a house, or you want to, you know, do that whole buy and fix her up and flip it. That's what the Evo market kind of became, and it starts to turn like that. And the longer it goes on like that, the worse it gets. And when I mean worse, I mean less cars on the road, less cars at the track, less cars racing, less cars, just out of like that. Don't get me wrong, there's Evos like getting worked on and tuned every single day. I tune Evos every single day.
Yeah.
But they don't go to the track like that. And I'll ask them, so what's your goal with this? Like, how fast you want to go to the track? You want to test it out? Like, no, I don't want to break my transfer case. No, I don't want to break my transmission. And literally, mainly my business have turned into, I would tune a bunch of Evos, and they don't tell me about it. But it's funny, because I already have that feel when I meet you. And I'm like, oh, you keeping this car? Or you flipping it? No, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. Get it running right. Get it running A1. 2 weeks later, a month later, it's for sale. Sticker. Yeah. 40,000, 45,000, 30,000, high dollar. Car runs mint. Car runs good. It's online doing a raffle, and it's like that's what it turned into. That's what it turned into. It will only get worse as it goes on. I would love to see the days where as there's as much as Skylines at the track and Civics at the track, I would love to see that much of Evos at the track. These cars are wonderful cars. They're comfortable. They're very, very fun to play with and modify, build and tune. But it really turned into like a value game now. If you get a home and you fix her up and you flip it and you make a little money on it. That's what the Evo's turn into. And you get another Evo, you fix it up and you flip it. And, it just keeps going and going. And then all of a sudden, other people, they see these crazy price Evos and they see like, oh, he just sold his Evo for how much? 50,000, 30,000. So they start looking at that behavior and that's what then it rubs off on the next guy and then the next guy and then that's what it becomes after that. It becomes that seller's market.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We're seeing more car. We know there's cars out there, but we're not seeing them as much as we used to.
Nope. We're not seeing them as much as we used to. And you go to some of these race events. And you might see, like, I'm here in Florida, so I can only speak for, here. You go to Florida, you only see, like, 2, 3 Evos at FL2K, maybe sometimes even 2, and then you go to other fields of categories except for the all-wheel drive, and you'll see a whole field of the same manufacturer. Like, it's just heavy.
Yeah.
But when the Evos, you don't see them much. You don't see much of them there. And that even goes for even something as simple as a car show. They don't even want to drive through Evo to put miles on it.
Right.
Because they know these are going to be hot sellers eventually, or the hot sellers right now. Let me keep the mileage down because that's all they worry about is just how much they can make off of it.
Yep, sadly, I think you're right. So, Desmond, what is it about the Mitsubishi community that motivates you to continue to provide support? I mean, you could easily move on to other platforms, and you still are involved with the community, even though you do other platforms. So, what is it that kind of keeps you coming back?
That's a good question. I do other platforms. And a lot of them I don't even post because if I tune a Skyline, I'll post it. It doesn't get that much traction of attention. Or if I tune a brand new Camaro on my hub dynos, it doesn't get that much attention because my following is Evos, and I don't know. It's just something about it. As soon as I got to Orlando, Florida, like. I tune when I came out here fresh. I tune one Evo, another Evo to another Evo buddy, another buddy to another buddy, and literally it lit off like wildfire. And then I was just getting evos nonstop. It was a different type of love and like attention than other manufacturers. A lot of other manufacturers, I come from the Honda stuff, so I know what it's like. You tune with this, you could tune with this Honda tuner. By the end of the year, you're probably ready on your third tuner. And it's different. With a lot of the Evo stuff, they have some type of loyalty to it, and I like it. They're more the Evo clientele is just a little bit more mature. Because it's not right out of high school and I can afford an Evo. They're like in their upper 20s, 30s, and up, and just a little bit more mature, a little bit more easy to talk to, a little bit more sensible. They're not the reckless kind to be like, okay, I just got tuned and I'm gonna be out there doing digs every single day this weekend or anything like that. They're just out there enjoying the car, cruising, and I like that kind of stuff. Just kind of wish I just saw more of them out there just racing.
Yeah.
That's really it though. But they showed me a lot of love in the Evo community, and I show a lot of love back. That's how I started getting into the Mitsubishi Owners Meet and some other meets because I do so many Evos, and there's nobody really doing them like that of events, and we just don't want it to like dwindle down to the point where nobody's doing nothing for them.
Right.
So I think the last event we had at Mitsubishi Owners Meet, don't count me on this, but I think it was almost, was it 300 people, 400 people?
That's what I was thinking, 300 cars,
yeah.
Right?
300 cars, yeah, it was about 300 cars. It was like a little bit over 300 cars. There was a head count, but I forgot. It was over 300 cars that was there. And every year it grows. Every year it grows. Every year, if someone tunes with me, I tell them, I'm like, hey, don't forget, my event's coming up. And I tell it to everybody. So if I'm tuning a car one day every single day of the week, and a year goes by before my next event, I'm trying to stack up that event. So it gives that type of community something to do. So it's just, they show love, I show love back. That's how I see it.
Definitely. All right, so Desmond, we have kind of the opposite problem of a lot of people, like let's say in the Mazda scene or in the Nissan scene. The Mitsubishi community, as far as aftermarket support, it's kind of flooded. It's kind of oversaturated. So I think there's obviously it's a good and a bad thing, but if someone just bought a Mitsubishi, it's a daunting task to figure out what parts you need and why you need them and where you need them. So if someone out there was just starting a build on their Mitsubishi, what advice would you give them to get them started?
I'll tell them straight up, buy the right part the first time. Don't cut corners. Don't buy no cheap injectors just because your pockets can afford it. Sometimes cheap injectors, cheap fuel parts can cost you more money in the long run. Probably cost you a whole engine.
Right.
So I would buy what you need the first time around. Like this Evo or the DSM or the Mitsubishi, script of certain horsepower marks. A lot of the stuff has already been written. A lot of guys know a Evo on a 64, Evo with the right fuel system on a 64.66 precision turbo is going to make 800 without even blinking. A lot of the stuff is there, written. You get with me. I'll give you some advice and some help on the right stuff for your left power goals. But my advice is buy it once the first time, because it takes you way more time, frustration, and money to do it twice. Not only are you, if you have to do it twice, you have to buy that part twice. But if you don't know how to work on your own car, or if you don't work on your own car, then you have to pay that shop to install it as well twice.
Yeah.
And then that's just more downtime of you not being able to enjoy your car. So I would, my advice would be like, just buy it twice. A lot of times people want to listen to their friend, their buddy, is what they want to say. Their buddy would say one thing, but what I would say is listen to your tuner. That is like so key important.
For sure.
I have so many people. Don't get me wrong. Your engine builder would know stuff too, but the guy who's going to be tuning your car. You should be chiming in and touching base with him on certain things. I've had guys come to me with computer systems that was like such a weird name and brand, and they were like, "Okay, I got this computer, I got these injectors, I got this and that." I'm like, "Well, I've been talking to you for like over a year. Like, why haven't you touched base with me on the computer choice that I recommend for you?"
Right.
Now you went and got this computer. I'm not tuning it. Now you're gonna go find someone else to tune it. Or if you don't find someone else to tune it, now you're paying money twice and trying to sell that one for half the price and it's brand new.
Yeah.
So just get with me or get with whoever, and they will give you the steps and the recipe for it. Do it once, do it right the first time. You can enjoy it the first time around. Does parts break? Hell yeah, brand new parts break. Brand new computers don't work. That's just how it is. These things aren't designed to be bulletproof. If that was the case, then there wouldn't be no recalls on vehicles. There wouldn't be no recalls on iPhones. There wouldn't be recalls on all type of stuff. Brand new shit breaks all the time. Or it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? But get with the right peoples and base up your goals and your setup and, put together a setup that works for you, for your goals and what you're looking to do. This way, when your car is done, you're satisfied. You're satisfied the first time around, and you're just a lot more happy. People in the car industry, the number one thing we hate is downtime. Man, my car is just sitting there, and I got to fix this thing, and waiting for these parts, or I'm waiting for this engine builder, I'm waiting for my wiring guy. We hate downtime. Car people hate downtime.
Absolutely.
We wanna be out there racing, banging gears, hanging out with the friends in the car, their car clubs or car meets or hangouts, so just get it done right the first time. If you don't have the funds for it, save up for it. This parts ain't cheap, but you buy things that aren't quality, that are not quality, it turns into a different type of monster.
Expensive monster.
It turns into a different type of expensive monster, especially if you're on the dyno and you don't have quality parts and you're trying to tune, and now you're starting to realize, like, man, you know what? I should never have bought this part. I should have took his advice and this, that, and the third. So that's what I would say on that.
Okay. Buy once, cry once. We hear it all the time, and it's great advice to stick to.
Yeah. There's a reason. You just stick to it and just buy quality stuff. I'm all about quality stuff. I do not recommend or even say, okay, yeah, that's similar to injector dynamics. Yeah, that's similar to FIC. Yeah, that's similar to precision turbo. That's a very similar fuel system to that brand. No, ain't nothing similar. I can't. I hear that all the time. Oh, I got some Bosch injectors that's supposed to be similar to IDs, buddy. Those are not similar to IDs. Those are not similar to FICs. That is not similar to precision. It's not. You know why? Because if that was similar to precision, then those similar turbos will be out there running 7 seconds.
Right.
Or 8 seconds. They're not. So don't ever come to me talking about they're similar.
So, Desmond, we're starting fresh. We got a new year, 2023. What are our Performance Destination's goals for this year?
Oh, man, to be honest with you, I'm ready to hit the ground running. Just earlier this week, I already started scheduling cars for next year, and we're not even there yet. I have cars, I think about, 10 cars already set for January, and so far 2 to 3 for February, and I'm not even there yet. So it's just, I know as soon as the new year starts, I'm going to hit the ground running. My main thing is focusing on is trying to do some travel tuning. My shop is so busy, and it's hard for me to step away from it.
Yeah.
Because I'm so busy. But I've had so many people that was like, I want to bring you out to this state, or I want to bring you out to this island, or I want to bring you out to this event. So you know what I'm saying? So I can have you there, so you can tune in. This, that, and the third. Or they don't want to ship the car all the way to Florida because it's just cheaper to have me come out there. I went out to Las Vegas. I think it was a month ago, and it's a guy out there in Las Vegas named Kai. He had an Evo 8, and he had another Evo. He was another Evo for a friend he was building, and then he had, I think, 3 other buddies with Evos, all different setups, all different builds, nothing similar. And I was like, you know what? You've been talking to me for like a year now about coming out there. I will come out there. Let's book it out. So where it doesn't collide with my schedule. It was roughly near that FL2K mark, because for some reason, anytime it's race season around here in Florida, it's just crazy. Everybody's just scattering, trying to get the car, and they're not even racing. They're just scattering, trying to get the car ready to be on the street or make it somewhere, or events or hangouts. So I was like, all right, cool. So I went out there to Las Vegas. Brutally hot. I have never been to Las Vegas in my life until I went out there, and as soon as I got off the plane, I live in Florida, and I think, and people who come to Florida, they think the humidity and the heat's bad. I went to Vegas and that heat smacked me, and it was like, bro, I'm like, yo, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Why is it 5:06, like 106 degrees outside? And I was like, it's so hot. So we went out there and we tuned some Evos, and no lie to you, man. Like, when he told me, like, my goal is 800, guys, do you think you could do it? I was like, man, I think I could. You got a 67 millimeter turbo. We're already almost there. Like, I could do it. If you want me to hit that number, I can hit that number. And I'm like, all right, next pull, I'm gonna hit that number. And then that dyno shop, he let me use the dyno facility, and he had all his Evo and other, like, his Vegas buddies there. And we hit that pull on the dyno, and it went to, like, I think 809, and literally the whole shop went crazy, jumping up and down. All I could hear, I couldn't even. The car's loud because it's open exhaust, but all I could hear is people cheering and going crazy in the shop, and that hit me in my heart. It hit me in my soul, my body, and it gave me chills. Like, I came to another state. And this is just to know that I satisfied another customer in person. Unload that car for dyno. Went for a street pull. Car ran like an ape. It ran so hard. And next car hop on the dyno. He had a 6466 Evo. I know this remedy. I know this setup. I told him to the exact T. Your car is going to make, but I'm going to do a very quick little pull. It's going to make like about 3s. I said, by the next pull, you're going to make 600. And by the 4th pull, I might be about 7 or 8, roughly. And first pull, it was right around 3s, just to make sure the fueling was good. Second pull, it made 611. Third pull, it made 733. And then, like, it took me, like, 3 more pulls after that just to get to the 800 mark, cleaning it up and whatnot. And that car made 815, and the whole shop went crazy again. The videos, everybody's camera was on, and it was such an experience for like that travel tune experience. It hit me so good, like it made me want to do this again. It makes me want to do this again, and it's like, you know what? I wasn't against it, but I wasn't like 100% for it because it's so hard for me to step away from my shop.
Yeah.
But to have that feeling in there when everybody's excited, those cars are running strong, and I'm just doing them back to back to back to back to back, and like they're satisfied. And literally, we finished all the dyno. I already checked out of my hotel, and they dropped me off at the airport, and I'm sitting in the airport, and I was like, yeah, I got to do more travel tunes. Like people, I could have easily did both of those cars remotely, but when they flew me out there to have that one-on-one experience and dialing in their cars, because they had issues, and I told myself 2023, I'm gonna open up my schedule for the travel tuning, so I can just be there,
Yeah.
just to meet the needs and just not feel like someone's just getting some flyby service. If they want me out there, I said for this new year coming, I'm gonna open myself up to be out there for them.
I can't even imagine, how exciting that must be to get there and see that kind of stuff in person. Like, obviously, you don't get to see the people behind the laptop after you tune remotely, like celebrating.
Right.
So.
Right. It was good. It was good. It was really good. It was a good experience, and I always try to stay local in my shop. And if you need me, I got you remotely. But 2023. I already have a few states that's requesting it, and I have one island that wants me to come out there for an event, and and I'm just gonna be there. I'm gonna show up, because at the end of the day, I'm in the Evo community, the Mitsubishi community, and if someone needs my services, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for service. I'm here to serve people. I'm here to make sure your car runs good. Because when that car ran good in Vegas, I had before I got home, I had like 10 emails from people in other states want to get remote tune. My local people in Florida, they saw that and they were like, "Yo, I need to get my car to you back to get tuned." And it goes back to what I said, like, I don't shine until that customer shines. And when that customer shined, the people see it, and that's when I shine.
Okay. So, Desmond, that rolls me into my next question is, what events do you plan to attend in 2023 where we can come out and see you in person, get to know you a little better, and maybe even, get your services in person?
Yeah, I would say Mitsubishi Owners. It's an event. Me and Tommy, the other guy who also does it, he started the Mitsubishi Owners, and he brought me on. He brought me on to as a partner to, just help boost it up, just help get back. The Mitsubishi Owners is more an event where you can bring your car, bring your family. It's here in Orlando. It's here in Kissimmee, Florida. It's going to be in March at a location called Old Town, and it's literally a theme park there, and we had Mitsubishis there. Like, we had Haltech out there. We had my buddy Joanna. She was out there, and we had like a bunch of people, from all over. I'm talking about people was trailering down from New York, Maryland, New Jersey. They was coming in from Texas, Kentucky. They was coming in from all over, booking hotels. And I'm a racer by heart. I'm a performance guy. I tune, so like I'm all about performance. But then this is something where I can get to know people and be able to get to see them with their families and get to see their cars and get to see them, just in a more relaxed environment. And same thing with me. When people see me working, they know I'm focused. Like, sometimes I'll be talking to myself on the dyno because I'm trying to like add up certain numbers of fuel values or boost. I'm trying to diagnose certain things in my head. So like I'm like talking to myself and kind of look at the car, look at the map. So like people are kind of like, okay, I'm gonna let him do his thing, and I'll if I have to talk to him afterwards, I'll talk to him afterwards. But like I don't get to really chop it up with everybody at my shop because I'm so focused. So at this event, I'm able to meet with people, hang out, and get to see everybody with their kids, their family, and enjoy themselves. I think it's just something cool to do, because at the end of the day, if someone don't do it, no one's gonna do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I just wanted to say also the Mitsubishi Owners Meet is March 12th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Old Town, Kissimmee. I will be there. Desmond will be there. Come out and check it out.
Yeah, man, we're happy to have you there, man. And having you there is a pleasure. You're able to do coverage. You're able to see other cars in other states. You know, you're able to network and mingle and get to know other people. They're able to network and get to know who you are, and we all just grow together. You know, and it's not a selfish event. You know, there's other shops there. There's other vendors there, and we're all just hanging out. We all have one passion, and it's cars, and it's Mitsubishis, but it's cars, and you know, and just I'm looking forward to it. Chop it up with you and see you there, and
Definitely.
every year it just keeps growing and growing. And who knows, by having this event, putting more Mitsubishis back on the road, and more people want to bring it out to the track. More people want to bring it back out on the street. They don't want to keep it in the garage all the time just to collect dust for one day. It's going to be a hot seller, you know. So it'd be pretty dope.
Absolutely. I you know, like you said, I'll be honest. I was looking forward to it, but I also wasn't looking forward to it because as a racer, I hate car shows. I don't want to see. I want to go if it's a car show. I want to go and see race cars. So, for me, I was like, man, this is gonna be so boring. And honestly, it was so amazing to see everything from 3Gs, base model Lancers, to Monteros, to Raiders, to everything in between. Rally. There was a fully rally prepped Evo 10 there.
Yep. 3000 GTEs. They all came out.
4G swapped Mighty Max.
Yeah, it's just a good variety, you know. And if you really looked around at that event, everybody was just smiling. There was no, I'm in this section, I'm with this guy, I'm with this team. It's like everybody was just smiling, handshaking, dapping it up, checking out other cars, other builds, and you know, and just enjoying themselves. That's what it's about. Life's too short. Have fast cars, have nice setups, and enjoy yourself.
Got to bring more shirts this year. I sold out like first 35 minutes.
Man, I purchased, I can't tell you how many shirts. I've purchased bins of shirts, and I sold all of them out except for one Forex. So I was completely sold out. So I'm gonna have more shirts, more stuff like that, new designs for this event, and you know, and just try to give back.
Definitely. So Desmond, where what social medias can we keep up with Performance Destination on?
I keep it kind of simple. Mainly, I really drive Instagram. So Instagram is my main communication. You know, if you follow me, then you know I post on a daily basis. Sometimes people, they see me like clockwork. 8 a.m. hits, they know a new post is coming out. YouTube, I'm on YouTube all the time. I'm posting certain things. I'm posting my dyno videos. A lot of the times, all my dyno videos, I would talk about certain things, any problems the customer's having. I'll kind of show in detail why they're having this, or why their car was breaking up, why the car made power, why it didn't make power, why this, that. Like, so my YouTube video is there. My business page for Facebook is there as well. So just Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, it's all there. And yeah, so yeah, you would catch me on there.
Heck yeah. All right, finally, Desmond, I always give people opportunity to give a shout out or give a thanks to anybody that you know, helped them out. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, man, I want to give a shout out to my parents. My parents, you know, first of all, I'm here because of them. You know, I wouldn't be here without them. You know, and they helped make me of who I am today. My family is a big support. You know, I have been the only car person in my family at my, like, you know, who's really like a diehard into race cars and building cars. So like, and they see the passion from when I was young to I am now, and they always been in my corner. I want to give a shout out to them. I have a buddy of mine. His name is Adrian from DG Auto Works. I actually worked with him. That was the first performance shop I worked with. So I've been around performance cars, but I never got to see the behind the scenes of the business end until I worked with him. I never got to see how to treat customers, or how customers are, or certain things within the line of business until I worked with him. So I want to give a shout out to him because he helped give me my first my first start down this path of, performance. I want to thank my fiance as well, and I want to thank, AEM. I want to thank Haltech. I want to thank Link G4 ECU. I want to thank Tefra, Fuel Tech. I want to thank all of them. I talk with all of them. I work with all of them. I collab with all of them. They treat me with respect, and I treat them with respect. I touch base with all of them. I talk to a lot of companies on a daily because I like to give feedback. I like to hear what's going on, what's new, what's not working, what is working. And I educate them. They educate me, and we, it's just a never-ending rounding circle of just everybody just growing and just having the right people in your corner makes a huge difference. So I thank everybody who works with me. Performance Destination is I have a performance destination, but performance destination is really my customers. My customers is what performance destination is. Without my customers, there is no me. Without my customers, there is no business. So my customers is really who Performance Destination is today, and I'm thankful for them because when they know I go to bat for them. I go to bat for them remotely, in person. Sometimes they'll just text me hey man, my fuel filter is doing this, or hey man, my fuel pressure is doing this, and I'm there for them. You're not just getting somebody that one and go. It's you tuned with me 4 months ago and your injectors are acting a little funny. I'm here to help you out, even after the tune. So it's just without my customers, there is no me, and because of my customers, there is me. So I'm thankful for my clientele and my base, and anybody else who ever wants to work with me in the future. I'm thankful for you in advance.
Heck yeah. Well, Desmond, I want to say first, thank you for coming on as a sponsor. I'm glad that we got to do the dyno leaderboard. A lot of people have been talking about asking me to get one started in the past, and it's already seemed to be a big hit. And
yeah,
it's all thanks to you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. And when you told me about that idea, it fit me perfect.
Yeah.
Because like I said, all I do is just tuning, and that's just my whole mentality. It's just tuning. It's performance. How to make a car run better, how to make more power, how to meet the needs or the goals of someone. Is tuning with me. That's all I think about. I think about the math in my head about how much fuel is going to take to get to that horsepower mark. That's how much I think on it. So it's just when you said about that, for that dyno board, I told you, I guarantee that's going to be a hot one right there. I could foresee it because everybody's gonna you could have the fastest car in the world run a 6-second pass. He's at 1,300 horsepower, or you could have another car at 1,300 horsepower, but he doesn't run 6 seconds, but or whatever miles per hour or a quarter mile time. But if that person can hit that dyno mark, it gives them something to be what, I could shoot for this, even though I'm not the fastest person in the, on the planet, but I can make that power. My car makes this power, and it just gives it that nice competitive competition. Oh man, someone just beat my dyno numbers. I got to go back and turn it up, or it just gives it that nice playful numbers. Something different, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. So I think it's pretty dope.
We already set the bar pretty high with number one being 1,340 horsepower. So
yeah, that's pretty tough right there. That's pretty tough. When you set the bar like that, you're gonna have people come out the woodworks, but they're gonna have to prove that. You just can't just be coming in here and just say it in the email. This is what it made. You're gonna have some proof on that. Let's see that car on the dyno.
Oh yeah, they got the dyno sheet.
Yeah, you gotta everything has to line up to match that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's pretty dope, and we all thank you for what you're doing. It's not just me.
Thank you.
The community thanks you for what you're doing, because at the end of the day, if you wasn't doing this, nobody else would be doing it. And I remember when I was building my car, when I first started building my car, I was like, okay, well, where do I look to see who's running the fastest? And I didn't know at the time. And then I Googled it, and your site came up. And I was like, okay, this is cool. So I started scrolling through. Let me see who's number one, who's number two, who's top 5, who's top 10. Let me just see who's who, and and there was nobody else doing it. So we thank you for that, because it also helps us to push one another to get to the faster quarter mile times.
Definitely.
And push one another to be competitive, and that's what it's all about, man. It's all about going fast, having nice cars, and just being supportive to others.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's my whole goal of the website is to keep pushing people. We don't want to see Mitsubishis die off. We don't want to see people stop racing them. Get out there, get to the track. Even if you don't want to do drag racing, do circuit racing or whatever you want to do. Just the Mitsubishis were born to compete.
Yep. That's what it's made for, man. They made. I truly feel like they were made to compete with the other manufacturers. I really think at that old school Mitsubishi era right there, I think it was designed to compete with the Hondas. Mainly, I think so. But they got so good now of the Evos and the newer stuff, Evo H9s and 10s. It's just a shame to not see more of them out there.
For sure.
Competing and whatnot. And who knows what the future is like. I heard some buzzing coming around that they might do something again with another Mitsu. So so we'll see what the future holds.
Definitely. Let's hope. All right, Desmond. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll definitely be talking to you soon.
All right, man. I appreciate it. And if anybody want to reach out to me, just give me a call at 941-268-7493, and you can reach me on all platforms at Performance Destination or Performance_Destination.
Heck yeah. All right, thanks again, Desmond, and I'll see you here in a couple weeks.
All right, man. Sounds good, sir.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.